When Caius Marcius Rutilus was appointed the first ever plebeian dictator for the Roman Republic in 356 BCE, most patricians were outraged. In this video, I look at the chaos that followed Caius Marcius Rutilus' appointment, how patricians chose not to support him even in the face of an existential threat from a powerful enemy, and the humiliation the dictator had to endure, as told by the ancient Roman historian Livy. I welcome you to my YouTube channel where I explore ancient texts. The ancient texts I explore in this channel are those that have been around for thousands of years. At the moment, I'm going through From the Founding of the City by Titus Livius or Livy. This is a collection of books written about 2000 years ago, and it covers the history of Rome from its founding by Romulus in the 750s BCE to the time when Augustus was emperor, which was close to 0 AD. If you have not subscribed, subscribe so that you do not miss any of the videos I publish. The Office of Dictator was critical in the structure of the ancient Roman Republic. It was filled whenever the Commonwealth faced extraordinary challenges such as a serious invasion by a foreign army. The appointment of a dictator allowed the Republic to override legal obstacles that could stand in the way of quick decision-making and actions necessary to preserve the Commonwealth. We can equate the appointment of a dictator in the ancient Roman Republic to the declaration of emergency in modern states. Indeed, the dictator exercised unlimited powers for the benefit of the Republic. Like most of the other powerful offices in the Republic, such as consul and censor, it had always been considered that only patricians qualified to fill the office of dictator. In 367 BCE, following intense negotiations, the Licinian law was passed, and among many other changes, it opened up the office of consul to the members of the plebeian class, and Lucius Sextius was elected as the first plebeian consul. Not long after this, the first dictator from the plebeian class was appointed. Caius Marcius Rutilus was appointed dictator because the Etruscans had formed a powerful alliance that was becoming an existential threat to Rome. Livy tells us that the Etruscans rose against Rome because, under the leadership of Marcus Fabius Augustus, one of the two reigning consuls, Rome had attacked and defeated the Etruscan city of Eliscan. Livy writes, "This led to a rising of the whole Etruria under the leadership of the Tarquinians and the Feliscans. They marched to the salt works. In this emergency, Caius Marcius Rutilus was nominated dictator, the first dictator nominated from the plebeians, and he appointed master of the horse Caius Plautius, also a plebeian. Like was the case when the first plebeian consul was elected, the patricians were offended to have someone they consider not to have a divine mandate based on his ancestry to occupy arguably the most powerful seat in the city. Even though the city faced an existential threat from an Etruscan alliance, the patricians chose not only to withhold their support, but attack, sabotage, and humiliate the dictator simply because he was a plebeian. Livy writes, "The patricians were indignant, even the dictatorship becoming common property, and they offered all the resistance in their power to any decree being passed or any preparation made to help the dictator in prosecuting that war." The stance taken by the patricians was very hypocritical. Many times in the past, as recorded by Livy, they had accused the plebeians of not being patriotic enough to stop making demands and join hands with them whenever the city faced external threats. Livy tells us that the city was only saved because the plebeians resolved to stand behind the dictator and shield him from the sabotage of the patrician class. Livy writes, "This only made the people more ready to adopt every proposal that the dictator made. On leaving the city, he marched along both banks of the Tiber, ferrying the troops across in whichever direction the enemy was reported to be. In this way, he surprised many of the raiders scattered about the fields. Finally, he surprised and captured their camp. 8,000 prisoners were taken, and the rest were either killed or hunted out of the Roman territory." Livy tells us that the patricians were even unwilling to congratulate the dictator after saving the city from what could have easily turned into its biggest disaster. It was a tradition in the Republic that when a consul or dictator won a war against a formidable enemy, the people and the Senate awarded them a triumph, an honor. In this case, the Senate declined to give a victorious dictator honor. Livy writes, "By an order of the people which was not confirmed by the Senate, a triumph was awarded Caius Marcius Rutilus." It was also a tradition that a dictator oversaw the election of new consuls before retiring or resigning. The patricians were so indignant that they could not allow Caius Marcius Rutilus to oversee elections, which led the Republic into a legal crisis. Livy writes, "As the Senate would not have the elections conducted by a plebeian dictator or a plebeian consul, they fell back into an interregnum." Indeed, the patricians were so disappointed with the appointment of Caius Marcius Rutilus as dictator that they decided to renege on the Licinian law, which stipulated that one of the two consuls needed to be a plebeian. In the next election, they ensured that both consuls were patricians. Livy writes, "A contest arose because two patrician consuls were elected. When the tribunes interposed their veto and appealed to the Licinian law, Fabius, the interrex, said that it was laid down in the 12 tables that whatever was the last order that the people made that should have the force of law. And the people had made an order by electing the 2 consuls. The tribunes' veto only availed to postpone the elections, and ultimately 2 patricians consuls were elected, namely Caius Sulpicius Peticus and Marcus Valerius Publicola. So in the 400th year from the foundation of the city, and the 35th after its capture by the Gauls, the 2nd consulship was wrested from the plebeians for the first time since the passing of the Licinian law 7 years previously. After leaving office as the dictator, Caius Marcius Rutilus decided to stand in the election of censor, another powerful office that was ordinarily filled by members of the patrician class. The patricians were not happy with this as well. They attempted to stop him and declare they would not allow a vote for him, Livy writes. But Caius Marcius Rutilus resolutely held to his purpose, and the tribunes, anxious to recover the rights of the plebeians that were lost in the consular elections, assisted him to the utmost of their power. There was no dignity which the greatness of his character was unequal to supporting, and the plebeians were so desirous of being called to share the censorship by the same man who had opened up the path to the dictatorship. There was no division of opinion shown in the elections. Marcius was unanimously elected censor together with Manlius Gnaeus. If you found this video interesting, take a moment to strike the like button. I also welcome your comment. See you in the next video.